Right. Okay. I'll crack on then, yeah. Okay, welcome everybody to the Planning Working Party meeting of Monday, the 24th of July. Please note that this working party has no delegated authority and may only make recommendations to full council. Urgent actions may be taken under delegated authority given to the clerk and to the chair. Item 1, apologies for absence.
Yes, the chairman, Pat Hanlon, and Councillor Dave Smith.
Thank you, Vicky. Item 2, declarations of interests and requests for dispensations. Yeah. I have one, item 2 on list B. My wife works next door, and I'm good friends with the people that own the shop next door to the application. So I'll stand out of that one. Councillor Andre has kindly agreed to stand in with the committee's agreement for that item. Okay. Item 3, minutes of the previous meeting. To approve the minutes of the meeting held on the 27th of June 2023. Now for proposer, please. Jason, seconder. I'll second. Show of hands, please. It's carried. Thank you. Right, we'll just go through the matters arising from the minutes. Page 439, please. Is there any update on 114, Colin?
That was me.
Sorry,
yeah, sorry. I did contact the planning officer. I can't remember who it was now. It was a lady, but I haven't heard back, and I haven't checked today. But when I emailed her, it wasn't. I left it a week or so, and it wasn't on then. But I have emailed them.
Okay, yeah, you can just keep an eye on that, please, Vicky.
I will do.
Yeah, thank you. 440. The site visit to Euston Biogas has been arranged, hasn't it, I think, Vicky?
Well, I'm gathering names at the moment, and I've got a week commencing date, which some people have come back to me to say that's okay. I was just going to remind the planning committee tonight that if you haven't replied, if you can, and then I will book that in for that week commencing the whatever it was in August.
Yeah. Thanks.
I think Joe Mason has asked for Thursday if possible, but I will go with the majority that can make it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, thanks, Vicky. Yeah,
okay.
Page 441. Anyone, any comments at all? No. 442, please, Colin. Thank you. Any comments at all on that? Thank you very much. I'll move on to item 5, and this is for members of the public to speak. We do not have any, as far as I'm aware. So we'll go on to item 6. To consider planning applications to West Suffolk Council. List A, there was not any, and list B, we will get into it now. Okay. So item 1, which is DC 230856 FUL, which is for 124 additional parking spaces. The applicant is Mr. Haris Aslam Mohammed Shell of IFF Haverhill. And has anyone got any comments on that application, please? Councillor Burns, and Councillor Crooks.
Only what I've put on the portal, in the sense that as long as they don't destroy any of the landscaping that protects the residents opposite from what's going on there. But as far as I'm concerned, it was a good idea, because hopefully we'll get some more of those vehicles off Dudley Hill if they are related to that business.
I think they are.
Yeah. Councillor Crooks.
Yeah, I'd like to propose neutral.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else got any comments at all? So we have a proposer for neutral. Do we have a seconder for that? Mary. Councillor Martin, show of hands, please. That's carried. Thank you. Right, this is the one I've got to.
Sorry, who seconded that? I didn't see.
Councillor Martin. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Right, this is item 2. This is the one that I've got to leave the meeting for, and Councillor Andre is kindly going to take over for this next item. Thank you.
Okay then. Application DC 231101 FUL. This is an application for a change of use for what is currently a vape shop on Hamlet Road to be converted to a hot food takeaway with an installation of ventilation through to side elevation. A couple of points I would make before we start. 1, this is in a conservation area. And 2, there is no substantial parking outside these premises. Anybody, anything to say? Councillor Crooks.
Yes, I've got absolutely nothing against the proposal for pizza place. Absolutely nothing against it. It'd be nice to see a vacant shop come into use. However, this is a conservation area, and the Victorian terrace that we have there is one of the highlights of Haverhill. I always think it's quite a wonderful terrace, and people might not agree with me, but I think the flue on the side of the terrace will be detrimental to the conservation area. I think that flue on the side will not go at all with the building, and so I would be happy for an objection, because that building is already suffering from well, I would call it an illegal signage. Amber's Kitchen, that great big red thing on the end of it, that just shouldn't be there. That signage from Amber's Kitchen, if that was in Clare, that would probably be removed within a fortnight. So it's just drip, drip, drip of destroying that building. So if Vicky, there's a photo on the planning application. Could you get that up, please?
I will try.
It does actually say photo on the.
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah.
I'll just need to share it. Just bear with me.
Yes, because the proposal is the flue to go up the side elevation, which you can see there. So as you drive up Hamlet Road, you get a view of the building, and this flue will be smack bang up the middle of that side wall, and I just think it'll be out of keeping. And while we're at it, the signage of e-cig wizard, that shouldn't even be there. That sign doesn't comply with the conservation area. So I know the flue will be black, but I'm not happy with it myself. But I'm happy to listen to others before I put a proposal in. Thank you.
Councillor Martin, then Councillor Burns.
Thank you. I think, Roger, when you introduced this, you said Hamlet Road, but on the location on the papers, it says 95 High Street.
Yeah, the address is actually High Street, but this is the
Yeah.
top end of Hamlet Road.
Yes, yes.
The significance of that is that this is a very fine Victorian terrace, and as Councillor Crooks has already said, a real centrepiece for Haverhill.
Oh, yes, I'm not disagreeing with that. In actual fact, I think my concern is when you swing round from Dudgery Hill, occasionally there's a hairdresser's there, you will get cars parked. There's a single yellow line, but I do think that this will increase the traffic and the congestion around that area as you swing around from Dudgery Hill to come round. And it can be quite dangerous even now. So I think that should be an objection if we're minded to not grant permission for this.
Thank you, Councillor Martin. Councillor Burns.
Thank you very much. I actually wrote an email or a comment to planning last week, which has not appeared on the portal yet. Another one I did regarding IFF has. There were a number of things that I brought up, and it wasn't objecting or supporting or anything like that. One was about the flue, saying if they are going to put a flue on this building, then it has to go above the window line of the flats above, because you can't have it at the same level, which makes it quite big. I didn't pick up from that photo, and I should have looked at that photo probably, that the flue will actually be over the land of the person next door. So I'm not certain how they're going to, and I presume it's their land. It looks like it's their land. And the other thing was about parking. Councillor Martin just mentioned that because, you know, one of our proposals for the TRO put double the lines out there. And it's quite right, you come around that corner and it's a bus route, remember. People park there and the whole traffic comes to a grinding halt.
Yeah.
But there's also another comment in their design and access statement that says deliveries were going to be made to the nearest car park. Well, I asked the question of the officer, well, what car park are we talking about? Are we talking about the Arts Centre car park? In which case you should not be using a council property for business purposes. But if it's some other car park, I'd like to know where it is. So there were a few questions I asked, but I haven't, nobody's hasn't been put on the portal. So unfortunately you can't see it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Burns. Anybody else? Any comments? So do we have someone who's going to make a proposal?
Can I propose that we object to this on the grounds that one is the congestion it will cause coming off from Dudgery Hill, the sighting of the flue, number 2, and I can't think if there's a third one or not.
Thank you, Councillor Martin. We have a proposal to object on the basis of parking at the front and the unsightly flue on a building in a conservation zone. Do we have someone to second that? Councillor Crooks, thank you. That's proposed by Councillor Martin and seconded by Councillor Crooks. We have a show of hands, please. All those in favour of objection? Thank you. Okay, I'll pass back to Tony now. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, thanks, Roger. Much appreciated. Item 4, which is DC 231086HH, which is A, an addition of pitched roof to garage, B, attached rear lean-to garden store to garage, and C, replacement cladding. And the applicant is Mr. Christopher Reed, and it's 87 Ratting Road. Has anyone got any comments at all on this? No. Can we have a proposer for neutral? Councillor Andre, seconded by Councillor Martin. Can I have a show of hands, please? Carried. Thank you.
Only, did we skip 22 Baines Coney?
Oh,
We
we did.
did.
I'm very sorry. Right, well, transpose that then. I'll move on to that one now. Yeah, sorry. So item 3 is DC 231030 HH, and it's a single story rear extension. The applicant is Mr. Kevin Moore, and it's 22 Baines Coney. Has anyone got any comments on that application?
No.
Have we any proposers for neutral? Councillor Lucarini, seconded by Councillor Martin. Can we have a show of hands, please? It's carried. Thank you very much. And move on to item 5, which is DC 231085 HH. Conservatory to rear elevation, and it's Miss Elwira Baronet, and apologies if I didn't get that name quite wrong, and it's 1 Bun Close.
Where is Bond Close?
I think it's the new development. Looking at the drawing, it's up by the Persimmon site. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah. Councillor Burns.
It's off Beavis Close, off the at the top end of there. To me, it's just a shame that so soon after these are houses, they've already put in conservatories and things on these houses. You think they would have actually, I know it's quite expensive for the developer to do it because they have to go through planning, but yeah, I hope we don't start getting things that ended up with more bedrooms and things like that, because that was always a site. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else with comments, please? Councillor Crooks.
I'm probably showing my ignorance as a taxi driver here. I've never been to Bum Close yet, but I thought it was Red Row. You sure, John?
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Jason, you froze halfway through that.
Yeah, I thought it was Red Row, but John's shaking his head. I thought it was Red Row, off of Gertines.
No doubt John will be checking as we speak.
Sorry, I'm trying to multitask here. Sorry. No, as far as I'm aware, it's on the Persimmon side. The north is towards the top end of what's probably phase 2 of Persimmon.
No, it doesn't ring a bell with me, but
Hang on a minute.
but you might be right.
It's one of the World War I veterans rather than one of the.
The West Suffolk planning website shows it as being on Red Row side.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
But street maps show it on the other side.
that's Red Row.
All right.
I'm not certain anyone's living in other than in.
Okay.
Well, I could probably look it up. I've got maps of the new things.
It obviously shows it there. That's the Red Rose. That's the Red Rose side. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think there was any occupations up there yet.
But maybe there isn't at the moment. Maybe they're going to have it done before they actually move in. But at the end of the day, the application's there. Councillor Andre.
We seem to be spending a lot of time on this. It's a conservatory. It's an entirely regular thing. I propose we just say neutral on it.
Yeah. So you've got a proposer. Any seconders for that?
Yeah, happy to second.
Yeah. Councillor Lucarini, a seconder. Can we have a show of hands, please? That's carried. Thank you. Item 6, which is DC 231105 TPO, which is TPO 192 1993 in brackets, tree preservation order, 1 ash tree, T1 on plan, A2 on order, reduce the lateral spread of lowest lateral scaffold limb to west by up to 2 metres. And the applicant is Mr. Jamie Hart, and it's land to the rear of number 10 Atherton Road. Councillor Andre?
The supporting documentation on this one is very brief, and it's a photograph that could be anywhere. It's just a picture of the tree from below.
Yeah.
The tree doesn't belong to the applicant, it belongs to somebody else. There's no mention of the consent from the owner of the tree, and there's no professional opinion about the work that's proposed. I tried looking on Google Earth, and there's not really much indication of what the problem is with this tree. So I think we need a bit more information and perhaps a better picture of the area. I propose that we object.
Yeah. Councillor Crooks?
I don't think this is a TPO on that tree. Well, it is. I think the whole tree bank must have a TPO, because these are very poor ash trees. So I think the whole bank of ash trees has got a TPO. I personally don't have an objection, because that looks a bit whippy, and I reckon that's whipping about over their garden, and lopping off 2 metres won't do any harm at all. So I don't know how much an application is that they put in, but I really don't think lopping off 2 metres on that whippy stem will do any harm.
Anyone else with any comments at all?
Yeah, please, Tony.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Lucarini.
Yeah, I agree entirely with Jason. I don't see any problem with them taking a little bit off that branch, especially if it's interfering with their house. In terms of the TPO, we've had this before, that the whole area up there is covered by one TPO, and we've had issues in the past with self-seeding trees, where people have to then go and get a planning application to be able to chop down a self-seeding tree. So it's not like there's not a TPO on that on this tree, so I don't see an issue.
Okay, anyone else have any comments before we go to the vote of Councillor Andre's proposal? If there's a seconder. Okay, we've got a proposal from Councillor Andre, objection for the reasons he outlined. Is anyone to second that proposal? Councillor Andre?
In the absence of a seconder and having heard the comments of other councillors, I'm quite happy to drop the objection and remain neutral on it.
Is that a proposal, Councillor Andre? Proposal for neutral, yeah. Yeah. Okay, have we got anyone for seconder on that? Councillor Martin, show of hands, please. Yeah, that's carried. Thank you very much. Right, that's all the items on list B. We'll just go back to the agenda, and item 7, matters to report. Any matters to report by anyone on the committee or present here tonight? Well, that's a first. Sure, John. All right. Okay, no matters to report. So item 8, date of the next meeting, which is the 8th of August 2023. Look forward to seeing you. Closing the meeting now at 7:23. Thanks, everyone.